There comes a sacred moment in every soul's journey when heaven whispers softly, almost imperceptibly, into the depth of the heart. I have a surprise for you. It is not an ordinary surprise, not something fleeting or shallow, but something born of divine intention, woven through the unseen fabric of your life by the hands of God Himself. In these moments, when your faith feels stretched and your prayers seem to echo unanswered, that is precisely when God begins preparing something so magnificent that your present eyes cannot yet comprehend it. For what God has in store for you is not random, not accidental, but part of a master plan that has been unfolding quietly behind the curtains of time, long before you even began to pray for it. When you think that nothing is happening, when you feel that your waiting has gone on for too long, and when the silence of heaven feels unbearable, remember this: silence is not absence. God's silence is often the sacred space where His greatest surprises are formed. Like a seed buried deep beneath the soil, there is unseen activity, divine preparation, and heavenly orchestration taking place. What appears as stillness is actually movement. What feels like delay is divine timing taking root. The Almighty is arranging the right people, opening the right doors, and setting the perfect stage for your breakthrough. God is saying to you today, I have seen your tears, I have felt your pain, and I have heard your whispered prayers in the quiet of the night. I am not ignoring you. I am aligning everything for your good. The surprise I have for you will not just answer your prayer, it will exceed your imagination. You may not see the evidence yet, but that does not mean the promise is gone. Faith is believing that something wonderful is coming, even when every visible sign suggests otherwise. God's surprises often come wrapped in situations that seem impossible, because He delights in revealing His power in the midst of impossibility. You see, the surprise God has planned for you isn't simply about material blessings or visible success. It's about transformation. It's about shaping your spirit, deepening your faith, and refining your trust. There are times when the Lord allows you to walk through deserts, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the oasis ahead. The struggles you've faced, the nights you've cried, the people who walked away, and the doors that closed were not meant to break you, but to redirect you. Every delay was divine protection. Every heartbreak was divine redirection, and every lonely night was divine preparation for the surprise that is now on its way to you. God's surprises are often disguised as endings, but they are really new beginnings. When you thought that opportunity was gone forever, God was preparing a better one. When you thought the relationship was over, He was making room for divine connections that would lift you to new heights. When you felt rejected, He was simply redirecting you toward the places where your presence and purpose are truly needed. And when you thought your story had reached its lowest point, God was quietly turning the page to reveal the next glorious chapter. My child, God says, I know how tired you are, how much you've been holding on, how hard you've tried to stay strong when everything inside you felt like breaking. But I want you to know that your endurance has not been unnoticed. You passed the test. You have remained faithful in the valley, and now the mountain of blessing is before you. I have a surprise for you, one that will restore your joy, renew your strength, and remind you that I am still working, even in the silence. When you walk with God, surprises are not occasional, they are continual. For the Father delights in blessing His children, not just in response to their prayers, but as a reflection of His overflowing love. The surprise that's coming your way will not only bless you, but it will bless others through you. For God's favor is never meant to stop with you. It is meant to flow through you. What He is about to do in your life will be a testament that draws others closer to Him. People will look at your transformation and say, "Surely the hand of God was upon them." And perhaps right now you feel unworthy of that kind of blessing. Maybe you think you've made too many mistakes, failed too many times, or lost too much to be considered for divine surprises. But let this truth sink deep into your soul. God's grace is not limited by your past. It is magnified through it. The same God who turned Joseph's prison into a palace, who turned David's trials into triumphs, who turned Ruth's sorrow into joy, is the same God who is about to turn your pain into purpose. The surprise that is coming is not about what you deserve, it's about what He has promised.
Sometimes, the biggest blessings come after the longest battles. The seasons that test your patience the most are often the seasons that prepare you the best. When you feel that you've reached the end of your rope, that's when heaven begins to move. God's surprise for you is closer than you think. It's hidden in your waiting, disguised in your disappointments, and wrapped in divine timing. For He says in His word, "At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Isaiah 60:22. It is important to understand that when God says, "I have a surprise for you," He means something far greater than the world's definition of success. He means a season of transformation where your soul finds peace, where your heart finds purpose, and where your spirit learns to rest in His promises. It might be a new opportunity, a healed relationship, a breakthrough in your finances, or a sudden release from something that has held you captive for too long. Whatever it is, when it comes, you will know it was God, because it will come effortlessly, unexpectedly, and perfectly timed. So trust the process. Trust the delays. Trust the detours. They are not punishments, they are part of the preparation. God is aligning events in your favor, even now, even when you can't see it. The surprise He is preparing for you will confirm what your faith has been whispering all along, that He has never left you, that He has never stopped working, and that His promises are true. Every act of faith you've made, every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, and every time you've chosen to trust instead of fear has been recorded in heaven. And God, in His infinite mercy, has taken note of it all. Now the season of waiting is drawing to a close, and the season of receiving is beginning. Heaven is declaring over you today, it's your time. Something wonderful is about to unfold. You may not know what it is yet, but that's what makes it a divine surprise. When it happens, it will leave you speechless. The door that suddenly opens, the opportunity that appears out of nowhere, the healing that takes place, the message that arrives just when you needed it most. It will all remind you that God never forgot you. He was just preparing the perfect time to reveal His favor. Hold on to this truth. You are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, and you are not finished. The God who promised to bless you is the same God who is faithful to fulfill it. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and prepare your spirit, because something wonderful is on its way. Heaven has already released it. It's making its way toward you right now. When that surprise arrives, you'll understand why the waiting had to be so long, why the pain had to be so deep, and why the journey had to be so hard. Because without the struggle, you wouldn't have the strength to carry the blessing. God's surprise is not just about giving you what you asked for. It's about shaping you into the person who can sustain what He gives. So as you read these words, let peace fill your heart. Let hope be rekindled. Let faith arise. For God is speaking directly to you. My child, I have a surprise for you. Something wonderful is on its way. You will see my glory. You will taste my goodness. You will experience my favor like never before. And when that day comes,
when the prayer is answered, when the miracle unfolds, when the blessing arrives. Lift your hands to heaven and remember this: it was never coincidence. It was always divine intention. God is not finished with you yet. The best chapters of your story are still being written. Believe it, receive it, and declare it today. My God has a surprise for me, and something wonderful is coming my way. Amen.